My name is Valencia. I'm 26 years old. If my ex-girlfriend were here, she would have bought me something that actually made a statement." He sighed, holding the gift I had carefully saved up to buy for him. My heart broke right there. I work in IT support, and until 3 weeks ago, I thought I was about to propose to the love of my life. His name was Mason. We had been together for 4 years, lived together for 2, and I had been saving for 8 months to buy him the perfect engagement watch. Not because I believed men needed expensive gifts to feel loved, but because Mason always said he wanted something meaningful, something that proved a person had really thought about him. I should have seen the signs earlier. Maybe I did and just ignored them. Mason had always been the type to reminisce about his past relationships, but it seemed harmless at first. A funny story here, a casual mention there. His most serious ex before me was a woman named Brielle, some finance girl who apparently made great money and had a taste for expensive things. They dated for 2 years before she moved across the country for work, and they broke up. He always said it ended amicably, that they just were not meant to be. Fine, I had exes too, we were adults. But over the past 6 months, Brielle's name started coming up more often. Brielle took me to this restaurant once. Brielle's company did something similar. Brielle always said I looked good in black. Little comments that felt like needles under my skin. I mentioned it to my younger sister Kira during a late-night video call. "Girl, that is weird," she said. "Why is he constantly bringing up his ex?" "I don't know. Maybe he is just comfortable talking about his past with me. Or maybe he is not over her." I brushed it off. Kira was 23 and dramatic about everything. What did she know? The gift shopping happened in early November. I had been researching for weeks, scrolling through endless websites, comparing prices, reading reviews. I wanted something elegant, but not flashy, something that would make Mason's eyes light up when he saw it. I finally found it at a small jewelry store downtown. A white gold watch with a clean face, subtle diamonds around the edge, and his initials engraved on the back. Simple, beautiful, personal. It cost me 3 months' salary. I picked it up on a Tuesday after work, heart pounding the entire drive home. I hid it in the back of my sock drawer, already imagining the proposal. I was thinking Christmas Eve, maybe at that overlook he loved where we had our first real date. That Saturday, Mason and I were having coffee in the living room. He was scrolling through his phone, and I was reading articles on my laptop. Comfortable silence, the kind you only get after years together. Then he let out a long, wistful sigh. I looked up. "What is wrong?" "Nothing." He smiled, but it did not reach his eyes. "Just thinking." "About what?" He hesitated, then showed me his phone. It was an Instagram post from some mutual acquaintance, engagement photos, the man showing off a massive luxury watch his fiancée had given him. "That is beautiful," I said. "Yeah." Another sigh. He set his phone down and looked at me with an expression I could not quite read. "You know, Brielle's boyfriend proposed to her last month. I saw it on Facebook. The ring was insane. Probably cost 20 grand. My stomach dropped, but I kept my voice neutral. "Good for her. She always had great taste," Mason said. He was still looking at me, and I felt like I was being measured against some invisible standard. When we were together, she bought me this incredible bracelet for our anniversary. Real platinum. I wonder sometimes what kind of gift she would have picked if we had stayed together. I did not know what to say, so I said nothing. He laughed, this small, almost sad sound. "Sorry, I am being weird. I just mean it is nice when someone really goes all out, you know? Shows they care." "Right," I said quietly. The conversation moved on, but something had shifted. I felt sick. The following Wednesday, I came home from work to find Mason in our bedroom. He was cleaning, rearranging things, and had apparently decided to organize my dresser drawers. "Hey, you do not have to do that," I said from the doorway. "It is fine, I was just—" He paused, holding something small in his hand. "The watch box." "What is this?" My heart stopped. He opened it before I could say anything. His expression went from curious to surprised, then to something I could not identify. He stared at the watch for a long moment. "Is this for me?" I swallowed hard. This was not how I had planned it. No romantic setting, no speech prepared. Yeah, I said. I was going to propose on Christmas Eve. He took the watch out of the box, held it up to the light, studied it. The silence stretched until it became unbearable. Then he said it. If my ex-girlfriend were here, she would have bought me a diamond watch. I stared at him. That has diamonds, I said slowly. I mean a bigger one. A better one. He glanced at me, and there was disappointment in his eyes. Brielle would have spent more. She would have known what I really wanted. I could not breathe. I spent 3 months' salary on that. I know, he said. And it is sweet, really. It is just, I always imagined something more. Something that would really make a statement. I stood there frozen as he placed the watch back in the box and set it on the dresser. We can look at other options if you want, he said, like he was doing me a favor. Maybe save up a little more. I walked over, picked up the box, and closed it. What are you doing? He asked. I am going to return it. Valencia, do not be like that. You said my gift was not good enough. You said your ex would have done better. I was just being honest. I looked at him, really looked at him. Honestly, Mason, if this is not good enough, then I am not good enough. And I am done competing with Brielle. His face went pale. That is not what I meant. Then what did you mean? He opened his mouth, closed it, then looked away. I put the box in my pocket. I need to go. Where are you going? To return this, like you suggested. And I left before he could say anything else. The jewelry store was closed by the time I got there, so I drove around for 2 hours with the watch box sitting on the passenger seat like evidence from a crime scene. Every red light felt too long. Every song on the radio sounded wrong. I kept replaying Mason's face when he looked at the watch. Not with joy, not with surprise, but with disappointment. Like I had handed him proof that I would never measure up. When I finally went back to the apartment, Mason was on the couch, his eyes red. Can we talk about this? He asked. There is nothing to talk about. Valencia, please, I made a mistake. I should not have said that. Which part? I asked. The part where you compared me to your ex-girlfriend, or the part where you told me the gift I spent months saving for was not good enough? He flinched. Both, he said quietly. All of it. I am sorry. Are you sorry you said it, or sorry you actually think it? He did not answer, and that silence answered everything. I slept on the couch that night. He tried to talk to me 3 more times, but I could not do it. Every time I looked at him, I heard his voice again. If my ex-girlfriend were here, she would have bought me a diamond watch. The words kept looping until they stopped sounding like one cruel sentence and started sounding like the truth he had been rehearsing for months. The next morning, I returned the watch during my lunch break. The jeweler gave me most of my money back, minus a restocking fee. I stared at the check for a long time before folding it into my wallet. That evening, Mason was waiting for me when I got home. Did you really return it? He asked. Yeah, Valencia. His voice broke. Why would you do that? Because you did not want it. That is not true. I was surprised. I said something stupid without thinking. You compared me to Brielle, I interrupted. You looked at something I spent months planning and told me your ex would have done better. Do you have any idea how that felt? Tears filled his eyes. I am sorry. I will spend the rest of my life making it up to you. Please, can we get past this? I do not think we can. His face changed. Panic slipped in. What are you saying? I am saying I cannot marry someone who's still in love with his ex-girlfriend. I am not in love with her. You sure act like it, I said. You talk about her constantly. You compare everything I do to what she would have done. And when I try to propose, you tell me she would have bought you something better. I shook my head. I cannot compete with a ghost, Mason. I will not. He started sobbing then, real desperate sobs that might have moved me a day earlier. Please do not do this. I love you. Only you. If that were true, Brielle's name would not come out of your mouth every other day. I started packing my things. We had both signed the lease, but I made more money and had been covering most of the rent anyway. I told him I would keep paying my half until he found a roommate or moved out, whichever came first. He followed me around the apartment, crying, begging, promising to change. I will never mention her again, he said. I will block her on everything. Please, Valencia, do not leave. It is too late. It is not. We can fix this. But we could not. The damage was done. Every time I looked at him, I saw him holding that watch with disappointment in his eyes. I heard him wishing it had come from someone else. I stayed with Kira for a few days while I found a new place. A studio apartment across town, smaller than what I was used to, but it was mine. No comparisons, no invisible scoreboard, no competing with a woman who was not even in the room. Mason called and texted constantly for the first week. Long messages about how sorry he was, how he had made a terrible mistake, how he wanted to fix things. I did not respond. Then about 10 days after I moved out, he sent a voice message. I almost deleted it without listening, but something made me press play. He was crying. Valencia, please just talk to me. This is insane. You threw away 4 years over one stupid comment. I said I was sorry. I do not understand why you will not even give me a chance to make this right. You are being so cruel. Do you even care about what this is doing to me? I thought you loved me. I thought we were going to get married. How can you just walk away like this? You are selfish, and I deleted it halfway through. The next message came a few hours later. I did not mean that. I am just hurt and confused. Please call me. I blocked his number. Kira found out a few days later when I was helping her move some furniture. So you really ended it? She asked, grunting as we lifted a dresser. Yeah. How are you doing? Honestly, better than I expected. And I was. It hurt, obviously. 4 years does not just disappear. But every day that passed, I felt lighter, like I had been carrying something heavy without realizing it. And now it was finally gone. 3 weeks after the breakup, I ran into Mason's best friend, Noah, at the grocery store. We had always gotten along, but he looked uncomfortable when he saw me. Hey, Valencia. Hey. There was an awkward pause. Listen, he said finally. I know it is not my place, but Mason is really torn up about this. I am sure he is. He made a mistake, a big one. Did he tell you what happened? Noah hesitated. He said you proposed and then took it back over something he said. That is not quite accurate. So I told him everything. The months of Brielle comparisons, the comment about the watch, the way Mason looked at the gift like I had failed some test I never knew I was taking. Noah's expression changed as I talked. By the end, he looked genuinely troubled. I did not know about all the Brielle stuff, he said quietly. He left that part out. Yeah, I said. Well, now you know. He nodded slowly. For what it is worth, I think you made the right call. If my girlfriend kept comparing me to her ex, I would lose it. Thanks. We said goodbye, and I finished my shopping. As I was loading groceries into my car, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. You broke his heart. I stared at it for a moment, then realized Mason must have recruited his friends to harass me. I did not respond. I blocked the number. 20 minutes later, another text came from a different unknown number. He loved you, and you threw it away like it meant nothing. I blocked that one too. The third message came from what looked like a texting app. Call him. Fix this. He deserves better than what you're doing. I turned off my phone. When I turned it back on an hour later, there were 6 more messages from different numbers, all saying basically the same thing. So I sent one reply to the most recent number. Tell Mason if he wants someone to comfort him, he can call Brielle. I am sure she would love to hear from him. Then I changed my number. Kira laughed so hard when I told her she nearly dropped her coffee. That is cold, she said. He earned it. Fair enough. It has been 2 months now. I heard through mutual friends that Mason actually did reach out to Brielle, but she was engaged and not interested in rekindling anything. Apparently, he had a breakdown over it. I should feel bad. Part of me does, but mostly I feel relieved. I took the money from the returned watch and put it toward a down payment on a car I had been wanting. Every time I drive it, I remember that I am not settling for someone who sees me as second best. Last week, I went on a coffee date with a man named Adrian, someone I met through a friend. We talked for 3 hours, and not once did he mention an ex. When I told him about my job, he asked interested questions instead of comparing me to someone else. I do not know if it will go anywhere, but it was nice, refreshing. This morning, I saw that Mason unblocked me on social media. He posted a long caption about knowing your worth and not settling for less than you deserve. The irony was not lost on me. I did not like it. I did not comment. I just kept scrolling. Because here is what I learned. Love should not be a competition. The person you are with should not make you feel like you are constantly measuring up to someone who came before. And if they do, if they cannot see your value because they are too busy looking backward, then they do not deserve what you are offering. I spent 3 months' salary on a proposal gift for someone who wished it came from somebody else. I will never make that mistake again. And honestly, I am okay with that.